So winter's over, but before we get out the shorts and flip-flops, we're going to go take a quick trip to see a frozen Niagara Falls. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Yoder. Welcome to my channel Explore with Jason, where I am sharing with you my passions for travel and photography. So I'm in North Carolina right now. I just finished up filming here along the coast, so look for those videos coming up in a couple of weeks. I wanted to get this little episode out about Niagara Falls before we got too far out of winter, because this is about a trip I took up there to Niagara Falls while it was frozen, and let me tell you, it was amazing. The awesome power of these falls is something I vaguely remember from a family trip that we took on the American side when I was very young. I only have little bits and pieces of memory about the power of the water, but I will tell you, when I first saw Niagara Falls from the Canadian side, I remembered clearly the power of that moving water. This time, however, it's winter time and the falls are frozen. Canada had a very harsh winter, so there's just massive amounts of ice everywhere. Even the river itself was frozen, and not just a thin layer of ice. If you look carefully, it is thicker than the height of a human being, and that's the part that's coming out of the water. Everything is just absolutely white. The only color you can see is the blue of the water from the Great Lakes. So since I was on the Canadian side, I decided to try out an experience called Journey Behind the Falls. So I took an elevator that went 150 feet down and then tunnels through the bedrock behind the falls. One of the platforms was closed because it was completely covered in ice, but the other one was still open. And this is what Niagara Falls looks like in winter while it's frozen from the bottom. Now, many people say that the Canadian falls are more beautiful. They are much bigger, and they also appear to be much higher because there's less debris at the bottom. So in the summertime, I would agree with you, but in the winter, I'm going to have to favor the American falls, because all that debris allows more ice to build up in front of the falls, and it just created an amazing image for me to capture. One part I was really interested in was a small bridge that went from Goat Island to Luna Island. It had a waterfall just going straight down in front of the falls with lots of ice on each side. As you can tell, it is a little cold this time of the year, so I definitely would suggest that you bring the thick clothes. I was actually up in Toronto working, and I really wasn't thinking about going to Niagara Falls until I realized it was only about an hour and a half away. So after work one evening, I jumped in the car and drove over. So I really didn't have warm clothes. Luckily, at the I believe it's the north end or maybe south end of the falls, at the visitor center, there's a coffee shop, and at the other end of the trail leading from the falls is a Starbucks. So I was able to sit in there and get warmed up. And that helped because I wanted to stay till nightfall, because that is when the lights turn on. So about every 15 minutes, they would turn the lights on all white. And with all the ice, the snow, and the natural white color of the falls, it was just a spectacular winter wonderland landscape. Don't get me wrong, I was photographing as many of the colored lights as I could. It was just one of those things that you knew you may only see once in your life, and you want to experience it as much as you possibly can. So I just kept my camera going as long as I could throughout the night. Would I ever go back to Niagara Falls in the winter? Absolutely. I would definitely bring some warmer clothes with me though. So hey, thank you very much for watching. Please click that subscribe button. Leave me some comments. Let me know of other photo locations in this area so when I do go back, I can find them. I will see you guys all on the next episode, and remember, never stop exploring. Have a good night all.